Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Cauldron Conversations in the Quill and Cauldron. I'm Carrie.
And I'm Melissa. Brew your potion, pull up a chair, and step into the magic with us.
Step into the magic. And we got new mugs, everybody. Okay, so for today's brew, we're going to be talking about the 22 Major Arcana. So for the 22 Major Arcana, we want to deep dive, not too deep, enough for per each episode, because we're going to get into each card thereafter. But we're going to talk about it as a whole today of the 22 Major Arcana. But we wanted to understand the numbers, the pictures, the symbolism, the energy behind the card. What is it in essence? Because it always is the same no matter what deck you have, as we've talked about before. It just changes. The meanings don't change, but what you get as a spread changes what the energy is and what the foresight will be. It's always based on that question.
Yep,
but you
exactly.
need to know. Yes. But we need to know which each one means in order to put the story together.
So we are not about memorizing in this series. We have notes for you guys. But really, we just want to understand these cards individually as well as how they can flow together, and some of the symbolism behind them.
Yes. For example, right now we're going through Lionsgate. In fact, it finished yesterday, 8/8/8. And 8 was August. 8 was the day, August 8th. And then 8, the third 8, was when you add 8/8/2026, it equals, because we taught you all numerology, 8. So it was a 888 energy yesterday. And then I had like that times 5, because I have the infinity symbol on my arm. And there's 5 of us attached to that. So I like to emphasize the 8s. I love 8s as well. So throughout all our episodes, we're always going to refer to our notes because A, we don't like to memorize. B, we like this to be as natural as possible. And C, we have, what do we have, everybody? Perimenopause. So we're not going to remember shit. So please don't ask us to. And it's too hard. It's just too hard at this stage in the game of our lives. So yesterday is a perfect example of a major arcana. This is the strength card. I'm going to go with this because we're talking about the essence of the card. There's 3 major essence to the card: the picture, the number, the colors, and the meaning. So maybe 4. So the picture is basically, she looks like a goddess to me. She has the infinity symbol above her head it's like a crown, but also the infinity symbol, number 8. It is the card 8 in the deck for Major Arcana. And we have the line, which is strength. Now, if we go back to numerology, what is 8? 8 represents strength and movement, regeneration and regeneration and new ways forward, momentum, power, mastery, action, progress, the number of achievement, authority, and purposeful movement. And yesterday was all represented in Lionsgate 8. Everything that you've ever wanted, wished for, and you're focused on, and you've been feeling like, oh, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And you've just kind of just frustrated. Yesterday was a really powerful day I think this is a great card to start off the Major Arcana, because yesterday was Lionsgate. Most people in the spiritual world know about Lionsgate. So I thought it just made sense to kind of tie in the card in today's start off of talking about the Major Arcana. And also in symbolism, colors are huge. And what does the sun represents? Yellow, right? Which is also the representation of strength, which is also what? Leo. August is Leo. It all connects, right? So there's so many things in here that represent just this one card and the energy behind it. And that's what we're wanting to teach you all, each card and what they mean, and go forth from there.
Yep.
Oh, and
it won't be super in depth.
No. This is going to be quick bites, and then we can get into more depth later.
Yes.
And if you like what you're seeing here and these crazy cool girls, then don't forget to press subscribe, like the video, and when you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell that says all, so you can always get notification perimenopause of all the videos that we make, and then when they're released every Sunday.
So as we mentioned before, the Major Arcana are numbered 0 through 21, equaling 22, beginning with the Fool and ending with the World. So generally, the Major Arcana tend to represent major life lessons. So transitions, personal growth, challenges, turning points, larger themes in life. So, but the minor arcana, when you pull that, that tends to focus more on like everyday experiences, maybe things that, um, little things to focus on and things like that.
So with major and minor arcana, obviously the major, like Melissa was saying, are big, typically life lessons or bigger energy moments. It doesn't always mean death and destruction and all, oh, woe is me and the world's going to come crashing down on my head. It just is the energy of whatever the situation you're going through or thinking through, because normally all your drama is up here before you execute it out here. So we always need to make sure we're on the right mindset, hopefully always positive. Remember, what you send out, you receive. So the major arcana are, I think, kind of like life's building blocks, right? And the minor
Yes.
is every day, just every day. Because like we go through every week, 7 days a week, and it's take it how you make it, right? So it can be
Mhm.
complete shit based on what you're inhaling and exhaling out. And it can be just great life, easygoing, because that's the mindset and energy you live in, right? So I feel like these cards put together create this amazing storyline. And
Yes.
also don't forget, there is meaning to all the cards, but it's also the meaning you give to it. So if you're overhyping on these cards and you're too obsessed with these cards and you're like, this is going to happen because it said, that can, but I think what's more going to be drawn to you is how you are sending off your energy. Remember, this is like when I watch all my psychic mediums and the people I follow on YouTube who are my greats, they always kind of channel out 3 to 6 months out. So please keep that in mind too. This is not like this is happening tomorrow. This is happening next week. This is the overall energy, and that could take a while because energy
Mhm.
ebbs and flows, but it does depend on where you are, your mindset, and what's going on in your life. Now, if you're happily running along through your life and you're taking life as it is, again, I think it'll be more easy. But if you're uptight person or you've had a lot of things and you're just set in this woe is me mind, you're attracting more of that. So we have to always keep that in mind. And major arcana, again, there are meanings with the colors and the numbers and the actual meaning starting of that card. But just because you get, for example, the tower, doesn't mean you're going to have this massive car crash tomorrow and die. That doesn't mean that. We've talked about this before. These are just chapters in your life of your journey. You have energy every day. What you could be thinking, harboring on, and what the cards tell you is just an essence of what's around you, the energy that you're stewing in, essentially, today,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And it could be that energy lasts a week, or it could be the lasting a month, or it could just be your baseline foundational energy. Because don't forget your chakras too, right? What you're grounding yourself in. So all of these things apply. But if you just understand the cards and take them, I say take them with a grain of salt. But it's really great. It's like a foresight. It's like information. It's just like if you have a map. You don't always drive all the routes. You're just giving all these different directions and you choose what best works for you on that particular day, month, year, whatever, right? This journey
And it
this
can
weekend, this journey
change.
next weekend. And it can change, and that's
Yep.
free will. So regardless of what you get on the cards, it's just kind of saying this is the energy you're in. This is the message we're giving you based on the question you've asked. But don't forget, you're in the driver's seat. You got to make those decisions.
Yep. Now we're going to go through each of the 22 cards. We're going to give a general vibe of the card, a couple keywords, and then a brief kind of connection between the numbers or symbols or colors or anything like that that we've noticed with the cards. We're going off of the Rider-Waite images. Again, we have the resources. So if you haven't, you can find them at the bottom of our video description. And you can download them from there. So we're going to just kind of alternate and have a few discussions. And I wanted to go ahead and point out that some people, as in myself, will read cards as reversed, meaning when I pull them, if they are upside down, it is reversed. Some people do not go by that at all and only read them as upright. Since I taught myself from a book, the book had reversals. So I learned it that way.
For me, I'm just putting out there, however you were taught to do it, I feel that's the right way to do it. Right?
Yep.
I don't think
Or
there's
what's
any wrong
comfortable.
way. Exactly. Yeah. I personally just think, that's fine. Absolutely. I mean, if you're shuffling and then they fly out, you were meant to get those cards. So pull those too. Because
Yes,
that
I
was,
do
to
that
me, it's
too.
your spirit guides going, no, these ones too, right? On top of
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. But for me, when I was taught that all the cards have enough light and shadow per each of the cards. So regardless if it's upright or not, depending on the question that you ask of it, will tell you the story of more light or more shadow. And so, like basically, the way that I was taught by Vanessa, she's like, because of that shadow side, there's already enough negativity. There's enough light and darkness in every card that, in her opinion, and the way she was taught 40 years ago, mind you, that you don't need to worry about if it's turned upside down or not. So but like we've said, however you're taught and whatever you believe, that I feel is the right way. So go from there. So whatever your cards are telling you and how they fly out, just go from there, because it's really based on your question. And that's why you're putting out your spread. So you go from there.
Yep. So for today's episode, we'll go through the upright. And just in the resources, I did include the reversed meanings as well. But if you really just want to keep it simple and vague, just think of it as a reversed is the opposite. Basically.
Just the complete opposite of what the meaning means.
Inward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about all we'll get into on that.
Exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and go through them. And while we read through them, I will put images up on the screen of the Rider-Waite, which is what Carrie has, and My Nightmare Before Christmas. So you can see different versions of the same card.
Exactly.
So as usual, we start with the Fool. So as we've said before, the general vibe of the Fool is beginning with openness, possibility, stepping into the unknown. Big keywords for the Fool are new beginnings, spontaneity, curiosity. Some of the number is 0, which is limitless potential. Yellow-White often emphasizes optimism and innocence, which you definitely have with the Fool in that stage.
Yeah, and you start the journey. It's innocent. You have no clue where it's going. It's a complete beginning point. Absolutely. Okay, the next is we're going to talk about the Magician. And the Magician is all about having, like, you're touching heaven. Like, think of the Magician card. I'm just going to pop mine up really quick. He or she, and I hate that all these cards are mostly men-based. We're just going to say any sex, doesn't matter.
Yes.
Arms up to the heavens, down to the earth. Basically, you control the heavens to the earth. You control all of it, right? You're in charge. When you get the Magician card, that means you are in control of all the elements, which are wind, earth, fire, water, what that is represented in the cards. Wind is swords, earth is pentacles, fire is wands, cups are water, but also then we can get into deeper emotions. And then the fire is like hostility. The swords are like fast happening. There's better words for that. But like if you see a sword, you know that it's swiftly coming. And then the pentacles, you're deeply grounded into the earth. Could be money, could be voting, could be politics, could be finances. It's a lot of things. And we can get into more of that as we go through each card. But for the Magician, like I said, you can see as well, if you have your own cards while you're going through our video, you can see he or she is in charge of all of the elements. So the cups on the table, pentacles, the sword, and the wands, and then infinity, controller of infinity, which is all that abundance. And then you're literally touching the heavens and the earth. So it's basically all wrapped up into spiritual alchemy, which I absolutely love. The vibe here is recognizing that you already have, which I've just said, the tools, skills, and agency to begin. Keywords: Magician, manifestation, willpower, skill, action, resourcefulness. I love the Magician. It's a great card to pull. The number 1, okay? 1 is like aces, so that's always big yeses in the deck. Whenever you get an ace, it means yes, so always remember that. So 1's the same. 1, imagery connection, which is initiation. And the red and white in the robe often suggests action balance with clear intentions. And that's the Magician.
Next up is number 2, the High Priestess. So the vibe for the High Priestess is turning inward and listening to what is sensed beneath the obvious. So kind of intuition, brain fart. So yeah, keywords would be intuition, mystery, inner knowing, subconscious, divine feminine.
Yeah.
The number 2 is duality, balance, black and white pillars in the image. There's blue tones that all reinforce opposites and intuition.
Yep. I've gotten the High Priestess quite a few times in my pulls for like a yearly read.
Yeah.
It's a really good card to be pulled on. Okay, next is number 3, the Empress. So the vibe of the Empress is nurturing an idea, relationships, part of yourself so it can grow. So that's really good. Keywords: abundance, creativity, nurture, growth, femininity. And then the number is number 3. And we've shown the cards in numerology as well. 3, they're all powerful numbers, but 3 is always like groups, connection, creativity, expansion. In the card, there's natural greens and fertility in the Empress. Imagery reinforced growth, so abundance. It's a really great card to receive as well.
Yes. Following the Empress is the Emperor. General vibe, creating structure, boundaries, stability around what has been built. So keywords: structure, authority, stability, leadership. The number 4, as we've said, is foundation. Like Carrie mentioned, think of a house, the structural foundation. You got your 4 walls, foundation. There's stone, mountains, and red tones in the card that all reinforce firmness and authority.
Okay, next, the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, I always find, I can never remember this one. Even though it's a very powerful image, I can never remember it. So I always confuse it with Judgment. But the vibe is learning through traditions, teachers, which you can see how Judgment, they kind of look alike. Teachers, systems, and shared beliefs. Keywords: traditions, teaching, beliefs, guidance, conformity, spiritual wisdom. And then the number, imagery, 5. 5, whenever you see 5, 5s can be, it's very interesting. 5s mean big changes are coming, but depends on what you pull. Like if you get the 5 of Wands, that's a lot of energy. But in the scene of the card, there's like, they're fighting, there's conflict. So it really depends on the question you've asked, because that could be turned into, it's not conflict, it's just a lot of energy and people are coming together. It really depends on what you ask, because it is, the 5 is very interesting in whatever spread, because it's challenge, but it's also change. So, you know, which way, what was your question? You know what I mean? There's ceremonial, say that 5 times fast. And imagery emphasizes established knowledge and practice. So like if you're moving, if you want certain things, new job, new possibilities, there's always change, but what comes with change sometimes challenges. So it could be like one and the same, or it could be separate. It really depends on what you've asked. It really does.
Yes. Yep. It's all situational. It's like 3 months, the card can mean something completely different.
Absolutely.
It's the context. So up next is the Lovers. Connection, values, and the choices we make when our hearts and principles are involved. So it doesn't always have to be romantic. This can be business. This can be friendships. This can just be, a one-off person that you came into contact with or something and had a really deep, meaningful connection with. Keywords: love, choice, alignment, partnership, harmony, and values. The number 6, also harmony. On the card, there's paired figures, which emphasize a relationship, vulnerability, and choice. So somebody could be presented to you, but you still have that choice to be like, no, thank you. But the choice
free
is there.
will all day. Yeah.
Yes, free will all day, ladies. People. Not just ladies.
Not just ladies.
Yeah.
Okay, next, number 7, Carrie's favorite number, the Chariot. So vibe is, and you can see that it's a really cool card. And you can, when Melissa gets it up on the screen while we're going through each card, you'll see, like, always think of the Roman races. Those suckers flew around, and that was dangerous as hell. Like, I would have not liked to have lived in that time.
If somebody fell in front of it, you were dead.
Bob was your uncle, and your uncle was dead. Let's just be honest. And not good. So the vibe on the Chariot is choosing a direction and bringing competing forces under conscious control. Isn't that interesting? So it's kind of like Gemini, right? Isn't Geminis are like 2 and 1? Are they the twin sign? Gemini? I swear they are. So that makes me think of Gemini.
Good on the spot.
But no, if you're like a twin, I think Gemini is twins, the twin sign. And so you're always kind of fighting yourself. It's not bipolar because that's a whole different thing. It's just like, seriously, what it says here, competing forces under conscious control. So 2 thoughts, 2 major ideas, 2, like, where do I go? What direction? You know what I mean? Keywords, determination.
In the old Disney cartoons with the little angel Pluto and the little demon Pluto or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Devil
Conflicting.
Pluto, yeah.
Which way do we go? Exactly. So keywords, determination, direction, control, momentum, action, and success. That's that Chariot. That's that speed behind the Chariot. Like, it can happen really, really fast. In fact, I got a Chariot for my year read, which means things would be happening fast this year. And it took about 6 months, but now things are happening faster.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. The number is 7. And because I love 7, I have my numerology just to go over 7, which is options and assessment. That makes sense, right? Fresh dilemmas of choice, confusion, reflection, inner work, mystery, spiritual insight, evaluation, a pause to refine, question, and deepen commitment. But then you throw in the Chariot with that. Isn't that interesting? Which is the speed. It could be really fast, or it could just be just cruising along. Okay.
It could also be a little bumpy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Bumpy all day. So a 7 again is assessment and discipline. I gave you little extra ones. So I love this. The opposing Sphinx, right?
Sphinxes.
I wanted to say phoenixes. That's incorrect. Sphinx symbolizes force that must be directed, right? They're opposing. One's black and white, one's white and black, but there's one more black than white. And so that's opposing too. These conscious conflicts within this energy of speed and conflict. Could be smooth, could be bumpy. It's a very interesting card, the Chariot.
Yeah. And next up is Strength.
Strength again.
Already did, yes, a very nice intro to because of the 888. So
Lion's
Strength.
Gate.
Yes. Power expressed through patience, courage, compassion, and self-control rather than brute force.
Isn't that huge these days?
Right. Yes. Keywords: courage, compassion, patience, inner strength, and influence. You can have strength with influence, obviously. Hopefully for the better. We don't need any more bad influencers out there.
No.
So, number is 8, which is power and sustained energy. And again, the lion on the card represents instinct and raw force and strength. And then the woman walking beside it, self-control, patience, and compassion.
Absolutely. And that's what she represents. Yeah. I just see that as like feminine, divine feminine energy mixed and surrounded and supported with the strength. And I see that as a whole as women.
And this badass bitch walking with a lion.
So now the Hermit. The Hermit has such an interesting vibe, because
I actually really like the Hermit card.
Yeah. And it's the one with he's holding the lantern, right? Which is education and whatnot. Okay. So the Hermit vibe, stepping away from outside noise to seek. I think that's where I am now, the Hermit. Like, I'm giving all of Trevor the responsibility that I have been doing since we've decided to become a family. So that's almost 27 years. I'm at a stage in my life. I mean, think about it. All women, our age groups who are going through perimenopause are in this literally caterpillar to butterfly catalyst journey, in my opinion. It is not an easy process. This is intense. This is hard. And in that process, for me personally, I'm finding I need to be more quiet. I need to come within. I need more grounding. And I'm trying to shut off all the outdoor noise and all the things that just do not serve me. I'm at this place and space in my life doing this, loving this,
Yep.
but also
Yes.
finding out who the frig I am, what I want, what I truly want, and who I want to like emerge and be for me finally. Because as women, we're juggling all these balls that society has thrown on us, and just the fact that we have a reproductive, piece of us that the
Mm-hmm.
men do not have. And we're forced to either have to do this, feel like we have to or not, or whatever situation it may be. But it's there, and it's like that stigmatizes you. Just because we have it doesn't mean we
Yes.
want to have children. I did, you did, but not everybody does, and that's
I
okay.
know quite a few women who don't want to.
Exactly.
And that's fine. That's their
Yeah.
choice.
It's
And it should
totally
be
fine.
respected.
It should be respected. And this whole society of bullshit, like you're a woman, you have to do this. But we're so torn up and so beat up and so put down more than we are, risen up. And other women can be horrible to other women when we all should be a collective group and support each other, just as humans in general. So it's very interesting, the Hermit to me, because I feel like I'm like a little bit of all the cards right now, but the Hermit kind of really resonates because it's stepping away from the outside noise to seek wisdom, reflection, and inner guidance. And I am so into my spirituality now that I literally have to learn how to be quiet. I'm Italian Irish people. This is hard. I talk all fucking day. I don't know how to shut the fuck up. Like, I need to stop even in my own head. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get to a point in your life, like I'm at my middle point. I'm 52. I'll be 53 in a couple of months. And well, not even a couple of months. It's like 5-6 weeks. And so this stage is just very interesting to me because I think the Hermit is where most people are at this stage in the game if they really tap into that inner calling, that inner listening.
Right.
Do you know? So keywords here, again, introspection. So that's basically looking, did I say that right? Introspection. Oh, perimenopause. Gotta love it all day.
You did.
Okay. So like these words are so hard. It's like I feel like, Dumb and Dumber, and I'm both all day long. It's fun if you
always need that quiet pause of introspection. Like you always need that time. So
and we're
it's
not
like,
allowed.
don't
if
think
you
of being the Hermit as bad. Like you need it.
No,
once
we
in a
all
while.
do.
Just don't let it go too long.
That's true too, because then you can become a recluse, right? You just don't ever come back out of your shell.
Then
so
that's the real deal
balance.
Hermit.
Yeah. And seriously, that's what like, it's got bad mojo because we're like, oh, they're a hermit. They don't ever come out of their shell. They're in their house. Da, da, da. But it's also like, whatever stage you are in your life could be the Hermit for whatever reason. For me, I'm no longer in charge of running the show with the kids. They're all kind of out of the nest now. And that took 2 years to really be like, well, what the hell do I do now? All right. Coming back and finishing on the numbers, imaginary. Oh my God. It's not imaginary. So sorry. It's imagery. It's okay. We'll get there. Connection. 9, nearing completion. The lantern represents enough light for the next step. Oh, isn't that great? Yeah, I started as like inner light, but that makes more sense too, obviously.
Yeah, because it's just a lantern. It doesn't light up everything. It is a slow following path.
Just a little bit of illumination to light up the next step.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
And what better card to follow up the Hermit than the Wheel of Fortune, which represents cycles. So your cycle is coming out of the Hermit. Again, reminding you not to stay there. There is, you come back out and there's another cycle. So Wheel of Fortune, life moves in cycles, circumstances change things. Not everything is in our control. And that is a hard pill to swallow sometimes. And this card sometimes is like, okay, come on.
It's a wake up card. Like you need to
it can be.
Don't be like this on your life and your journey. You're actually hurting yourself. It's like also if you think about anger, if you're pissed and angry at someone, right? And you're just stewing in that anger, who's it hurting? Is it hurting the person you're angry at, or is it hurting you? You're hurting yourself more.
Don't stop the wheel.
You
Let
need
the
to
wheel
relax.
Move.
Yes, release.
Keywords, change, cycles, fate, turning point, destiny, karma. Number is 10, which is completion and restart. So get 10, go back to 0. The wheel visually reinforces reoccurrence and movement. So again, we just let that wheel roll. Yeah, I almost had a song pop in my head, but I'm not going to think on that. So
That's
that's
okay.
the Wheel of Fortune, guys.
Okay, after the Wheel of Fortune, of course, is justice. So that makes sense, right? Number 11. So vibe, looking clearly at the truth, justice. Accountability, balance, and the consequences of choices. Keywords: truth, fairness, accountability, balance, cause and effect. All our choices, cause and effect. And there's always got to be a balance, always. It doesn't always work this way. It kind of, you know what I mean? So, but there has to be some form of balance. What you put in, you get back. And then number, imagery, connection, scales and swords reinforce balance, clarity, and consequence. Justice is a good thing.
Next up is the Hanged Man. The vibe of the Hanged Man, obviously, it's kind of a concerning image. I mean, as somebody who's being hanged.
Yeah, you're kind of like, what?
But that's not what it's representing.
No.
Sometimes progress comes from pausing, surrendering, and seeing the situation differently. So what's a good way to, it's kind of like changing perspective, maybe looking at something differently. So some of the keywords would be pause, surrender, perspective, and release.
Think of it this way. If you say by chance have a colonoscopy, they always say, or any form of an operation, you are not to make major decisions in the, at least 24 hours, which is kind of the hanged man, right? Because you could be stewing in that emotion, that anger, that fear, whatever you're bringing up. That is not a good time to make decisions. That is not a good time to get the full perspective of what you think you're seeing. You could just be consumed by whatever that emotion, thought, whatever is. Always give yourself at least 24 plus hours. And my nana would always say, there's always a new day. There's always a new day. So like, when you have a breakup or you have a fight, you lose your job, big challenges in your life and your journeys. It is not a good idea to make decisions during these big things, right? Wait. No. When you wake up, it's always a new day, fresh ideas, fresh decisions, fresh, next steps. And that to me is the hangman.
Right. Also, I mean, the image itself is literally a hanged man. So if you think about that kind of as
hung by the foot, not by the neck.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So it's literally a change,
turning it around.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I just love that one. It's good. And what I love is also that your spirit guides are going, literally, get out of your head.
Yes.
Get out of your head. Yeah. Which is cool. Okay. After the hanged man, we have death, everyone's favorite.
Yes.
And we have to remember again, death is not, the Grim Reaper here. Death is just the ending of a chapter and a rebirth of a new chapter. So the vibe, again, an ending clears space for transformation in the next phase of your life, which is what on that wheel, right? On that wheel. So keywords: ending, transformation, transition, release, number, imagery, connections. Black and white imagery can have the both ending and renewal, black and white. And then the card really requires, we're not talking literal death, as I've just said. It is an ending of a chapter and a start of a new one. And I like to look at that as a good thing, because change is a good thing, which is that wheel. No matter what you're going through in your life, that wheel is constantly moving. So we have to keep remembering that as well.
And once you close a chapter, you're ready to move on to the next.
Yeah.
And next up is temperance. Vibe is basically blending, integrating, and finding sustainable balance after the change. Keywords: balance, moderation, integration, healing, and purpose. The image is on the Rider-Waite, an angel or a winged figure that has two cups that they're mixing, and they have 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. So the cups represent life's alchemy and the blending of opposing forces, emotions, and then the having 1 foot in the water and 1 foot out is representing trying to find and create balance in your life again.
There we go. Oh, the devil. I keep getting the greatest cards.
I like the devil.
It's like when I first...
It's a card.
Yeah, when I first got those cards in the beginning, I'd be like, I was actually afraid of them. It's amazing how you put this fear in your head that's so unnecessary. So the devil, we're all typically afraid, like I used to be. Everyone's afraid of the devil. We've been taught in church, movies, books, evil, evil, evil. And yes, it is to some extent. But in this case, in the tarot on the Rider-Waite cards, the devil represents like controlling energy. You know what I mean? Like that saying, if you sell your soul to the devil, well, always remember the devil will always collect your soul by the end of it, right? So you ever watch those movies? I think they've been cartoon ones too as a kid, where you sold your soul to the devil and then you got all the wealth and riches, power, greed, everything that you wanted. And then maybe 50, 60, whatever amount of time that was agreed upon, then the devil shows up at the end of it and then collects your soul and takes you down to hell, right? Well, in essence, that energy is that very controlling, seductive. Ooh, you thrive in this really kind of controlling energy. It depends on the situation. It could be a bad relationship, but you guys both feed off of that with one another. It could be a job. It could be a political position. I mean, there's all sorts of things. But in essence, the devil is examining attachment, temptation, unhealthy patterns, and where power may have been surrendered. If you look at the card, which Melissa is going to put up all the cards with us going through them, you'll see that the devil's holding the chains of both the female and the male, but they are very loose among their necks. They're not just like, there's not like this collar and then it's attached here and they're just trapped forever, right? It's a loose type of like chain around their neck. So they literally have free will. Let's not forget free will, that they could take it off at any time, get out of the seduction of this, temptation energy of the devil and just start again, start the zero, right? Start their full journey again and be on their merry way and come back into themselves, stop being tempted to these other things. And that could be drugs. That could be a boyfriend. That could be a relationship. It could be a situation. It could be moving to a bad place. It could be anything, but it's mostly just unhealthy patterns is what it means. And you are in control of that. You just have to remember that. So, keywords, temptation again, shadow, restriction. That's a good one. Restriction. And you could be just restricting yourself through self-sabotaging. That is a devil energy, right? Sexuality. There's that there too. Number, imagery, connection is, like I said, the change emphasizes bondage. The looseness in the Rider-Waite energy suggests the possibility of release, which there always is free will. There always is that choice. So yes, absolutely.
You have to be the one to do it.
Yes. You're the one who put on the chains. You're the one who can take off the chains. Right, you have to take it off.
Yep. Yeah. Next up is the tower. So it is a shaky structure that is exposed or disrupted, often suddenly, so truth can no longer be avoided. I wouldn't say it's kind of like your rock bottom, but sometimes it could be. But it just, something is going to disrupt because it needs to happen in order for you to progress. So upheaval, revelation, disruption, breakthrough, chaos, sudden change. So on the card, the tower is crumbling. There's flames, lightning, somebody jumping. Visually, it just shows the tower's changing and you need to move on. So it's not necessarily bad. I mean, it's a scary image, but it just depends. Like, as everything, the intent, the energy, and everything behind it. But it's just, there's change, and you need to shift.
And if you don't want to make that change, because we also, free will can stop change from happening.
Right.
The universe will be like, nope, sorry, nice try, and make it happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah. Whether you want it or not.
Yeah. That's what the free will is. So do you want to make that change happen at your ease, your grace? Or do you want something to say, this must be happening? Because overall, life is about change. Life is about moving on. Life is about that wheel of fortune, that wheel. Okay, now we're going to talk about the star. And I think the star is just beautiful in general. Stars are beautiful in general, but in this case, the star is always the star of hope, and it makes sense that it comes after the tower because towers change, good or bad, it's change. Okay, and so the star is hope and renewal right after upheaval, which is the change, the tower, and this is where the healing and it begins with quietly, but then it grows into like any direction. Like, think about it. After you hit a tower moment in your life, you're doing some really seriously rethink, no matter what the situation may be. And now you're producing a plan, right? So there's your hope. Now you're on this new chapter, new journey. And the key words in that are, again, hope, renewal, healing, inspired. So inspiration, faith, and spirituality. And then your numbers. I love that. And the star, which we'll have up here showing the woman is touching the water. So there's water, and the stars reinforce calm and restoration and guidance. It's such a great card. It's another almost yes card in the deck, not as strong as the sun, but it is always like we're on a good path here.
Yep. And after the star is the moon. I love the moon. I love the moon in real life, and I like the card.
Me too.
So the moon can be illusion, but it can also be illumination. It can moving through uncertainty, intuition, dreams, fear, information that is not fully visible yet. So think of moonlight. You can walk by moonlight, but you can't see everything, like
Everything, yeah.
some things are still in shadows, and that can be scary. But it can also just, it's good because you got to walk the path, like trust the intuition and the subconscious and just go with the light. But do be careful of illusions. You don't want to, have the shadows play tricks on you or anything like that. So in the imagery, moonlight gives partial illumination. There's water and animals. So animals, you have nocturnal, so there's instinct.
Mm.
And it can also be kind of subconscious and stuff like that. But yeah, I love the moon card.
It's like, that saying, don't worry about the full entire staircase, just one step to then become the staircase for that journey. It's illuminating just enough steps or path in front of you to take that. You know what I mean?
To keep going. Yeah.
To keep going. It's just enough. You're still uncertain because of the shadows, but it's really
still a little
lighting
scary,
up the path. Yes.
But you have enough. Yeah.
You have enough
to keep going.
Okay. The sun. The sun. I love this. I mean, I love all the cards, but the sun is the biggest yes card in the deck. Not versus as well as the aces. If you ever pull an ace, regardless of what suit it is, it's a yes. I have a psychic guide that I listen to and follow. Anytime she asks the questions to her spirit guides, it's a yes, it's a yes, it's a yes. And then you'll see within months that she's predicted that it's actually happened. It always it's like a yes all day. So it's the biggest yes card in the deck. The vibe is clarity. For the sun, it's vitality, it's joy, it's confidence. Yes, yes, yes. And then, the confidence returns when things are brought fully into the light. So the moon illuminated a little, and the next card is the sun, which illuminates the whole thing, right? We've made our decisions. Yep. We have our new plan in place. Everything is coming into alignment. The sun, it's here. We're seeing it, one step after the other. So yeah, it does bring joy. What does the sun do? It creates produce for us. The sun and the flowers
vitamin
and the bees
D.
And the birds and vitamin D.
Makes you happy. Yeah.
Exactly. And it provides warmth and heat. You know what I mean? It's comfort, joy, vitality, success, positivity, fun. You know what I mean? We love to have fun at night too, but it's a different vibe of having fun during the day, right? It's just a wonderful card. It truly is. So the imagery connection, think of the sun. Sun is yellow. Yellow is also seen in a lot of the other cards, especially the strength cards. So that's strength and warmth, yellow, sunlight, sunflowers. And the child in the card is emphasizing the warmth and life force. So it's all good, all joy, all positivity. And don't forget the biggest yes card in the deck.
And following the sun, we have judgment. So overall, this card is looking back with honesty, understanding what has been learned, and answering a call to move forward differently. Awakening, reflection, renewal, judgment, rebirth, release. On the card, the trumpet and rising figures usually symbolize awakening, reckoning, and response.
Yeah, and on the card, which I did not know, the awakening part is these people were dead. If you look at the card, they're all
I did
coffins.
not know that.
Yeah, I learned this in my course.
I have to look.
The coffins have been opened and they're rising. So there's a lot of meanings in there. I can't wait for us to do even deeper dives. Yeah, but those are all people who are like rebirthed, renewed, new energy, judgment. Because the trumpet is like calling them back to life. And that's where the symbolizing is and the reckoning. But, you know, the judgment is reflection, right? We're looking back at our past. Are we actually physically present? What do we want for the future? It's fascinating. And then to complete the 22 is the world. So we have the wheel was turning and then it finally finishes at the world, right? So it's completion, it's for the vibe, it's integration, it's the satisfaction of reaching the end of a meaningful cycle. Okay. And boy, is it meaningful because all those cards, depending on what you're doing in your life and what you're asking for and your free will and your choices, doesn't all make sense? They all make sense. And then they come together and tell you the story, give you a little bit of an insight guidance for where you should be going. Your choice to listen to it or not. But I just love it. I think it's fascinating. The key words, again, for the world is completion, fulfillment, integration, wholeness, and travel. We like to travel the world. It is whole. You know, so many things come together when you get to the world. And then the imagery connection is the wreath that is creating the completed circle. And the completion is also making room for the next chapter, the next beginning. Again, which we go to 0, which is the Fool. And so it begins again. Which I love.
So now we've gone through all of them. And now we are each going to shuffle. We've each pulled out the 22 Arcana cards from our decks. And we're just going to give a quick shuffle and pull one. And I think my energy going into this is a card that would be good for us to teach today, or a good card for us, for you guys today. So here I am shuffling my cards. And then let's see.
Shuffling mine.
Yep. And then I'm going to cut it twice and then I'll pull. Okay. Do you have your card?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if we got the same one?
I know.
Oh, I like mine. What did you get?
I like mine.
I got Temperance.
I got the World.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love the World. What a nice.
You have this.
It's a good card for the end of an episode, too.
It
or
is.
Towards the end of an episode.
It makes sense. It's the next chapter.
Yeah. Yep. So I pulled Temperance and Carrie pulled the World. So Temperance, again, mine's The Nightmare Before Christmas. It is Sally mixing 2 potions into the cauldron, and it has like a little wispy skull coming up. So if you guys remember from our discussions a few minutes ago, Temperance is blending, integrating, finding balance after change. So yeah, that's a great one. I mean, a lot of us are constantly finding balance, and especially later in life, you know, I got kids still in school, so balance is needed all the time.
It is. And every day changes, and every situation of the day changes, and they can forget things or add things or whatever. You know, your routines shuffle every day. Even though you try to keep that balance of the routine, it doesn't always happen. And for the World, my card, which we just talked about, again, is integration, satisfaction of reaching the end of a meaningful cycle. So again, you see the wreath, that's the cycle, okay? And then fulfillment, wholeness, travel. We travel the world. You know, it's a completion. It's a 21. So it's like 10, 10. 10 is completion, but double amplified. 10 times 1 is still 10. You know what I mean? 10 times 10 is 100, but we're going by the 10s in the numerology with the cards, which means completion of a new chapter to start again. And I would like to at some point get into each of the imagery even more, because we have the lion, which is strength, and we
There's
have an
so
eagle, and we
much.
have the
Yeah.
horns of a bull, and there, like, what else? I'm not there yet. Like, I understand the baseline, but I, as a tarot reader, still, this is a lifetime worth of learning. Okay, it
Yes.
really is. So we're very excited to bring even the imagery into more discussion later in
Yeah.
other episodes.
Yep. So now that we have each pulled a single card, we are going to give you guys your homework from the universe. So it's going to be 2 steps. Hopefully you have a deck. If not, you can just, excuse me, Google the images and look
Yep.
through them.
Yep.
So what I want you to do is lay out your cards, all 22 of the Major Arcana, in order, and just kind of look at them and just kind of see how that flows together.
So after you have your 22 laid out, like Melissa's asked you to do, look at the cards and really get a good feel after what we've discussed. You can print out your handouts and go through them again so they resonate more with you. Remember, no memorization, but when you repeat, when you do this more often, it will sink in and it'll just become more natural to you. And believe me, when you don't use it, you lose it. So the more you use, the more it sets in and you don't lose. What we'd like you to do is do a very fun 3-card pull called past, present, and future. So when you shuffle all your 78 cards, okay, then just draw 3. And for me, I mean, everyone do it the way you want to do it. I'm type A. My thing is shuffling 7 times. I have a 7 thing. It's my thing. And then I pull the 3 cards and I put them face down. Yeah. I mean, everyone has their thing. And I'm trying to be less controlling of my own self so I can just do it. I'm getting there. It's, I have my own thing. Type A. I don't know what to tell you.
I personally, mine's funny. I like to, it depends on how many cards I'm drawing. So like this, it's 3 cards. So I'm going to shuffle 3 times and I'm going to cut 3 times. And then I'm going to.
So I could throw that in too. Instead of doing the 7, that would be less time. I like that. And then you put them all back together, shuffle however what you want to do, whatever your routine, your ritual is, and then just draw 3. 1 for present, 1 for past. I keep doing that. 1 for present, and then 1 for future. So the past. These are the questions you want to ask yourself as you're drawing your past, okay? What energy of or lesson from my past is influencing me now? Okay, that's a great question to ask, right? Because that's what it is. So then the present, what do I most need to understand about my current energy or situation? These are questions you can ask before you draw them or as you're drawing them. It's just, again, intention, affirmation, energy. And then the third one is future. Where is the energy leading me and what guidance do my spirit guides have for moving forward? I like that.
Yep.
That's really good. And then see what you get. And then if you feel called to, let us know. If you want to share, take a picture on your phone. It's great homework to do. When I was in my course, we'd all take pictures of our spreads. We'd write out what they meant, and then we'd send it to our teacher. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome. We read everything that you guys send us in, and we would love to interact with you. And I would love to see what you get, because through this whole episode, we're educating ourselves as we're educating you. It's a joint effort. It's conversations around a cauldron. This is what we want to do. We want to enjoy it, do it together, and just see what you get. Because if you've never done this before and you want to, it's the best way to start.
It's a lot of fun. So yeah, just let us know what's going on. I'm interested.
I'm interested.
Very curious. Yeah. Join our Cauldron Conversation.
And remember, whatever you take from this, it's whatever resonates, and you leave the rest. Yep. And if you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. We greatly appreciate it.
Yep. And on next week's episode, we're going to start diving into the Minor Arcana. We're going to go one suit at a time. So next week, it will be the Wands.
So the Wands represent fire, creativity, ambition, action, and passion. Mm-hmm. And I'm very excited to get into that next week.
Yeah.
Well, as our conversations may be ending, the magic always flows.
Until next time, trust your intuition, follow the magic, and keep the cauldron brewing. Bye.
Bye.